Everyone, it's Ben McCoy with Pacific Southwest International Realty bringing you another episode of Keeping Carlsbad Open, a series that focuses on locally owned businesses that operate here in our community. And today we're joined by Tanya Finnerty, who's the president of Homewatch CareGivers of North County. Tanya, welcome.
Thank you, Ben, for having me. It's good to see you.
It's absolutely great to see you as well. You reached out to me early on as a service that is really interesting, and I think that people need to know more about, especially as we're talking about coronavirus and how it impacts our senior community, especially those living in assisted living or considering doing something like that. So why don't we lead right in and talk about your company, in the particulars. How was it founded? What are your inspirations and goals?
Thank you. So Homewatch CareGivers of North San Diego was founded here in Carlsbad 9 years ago by myself. I'm the sole owner. And we've been servicing this area for quite a long time for people of all ages and all abilities. Some, from early on in life to the end stages of life. And so we can help with anything in the home from light housekeeping, for instance, going out grocery shopping for somebody and into the more personal care areas.
Excellent. And so that brings us into the next question, which specifically is, what services do you offer and in what coverage area, what part of the state or in the county do you cover?
So great question. We're based in Carlsbad, we're really covering the whole North County here. And I will also add that we do have an office in La Jolla as well as in Temecula, but for the purposes of the North County, we're offering services right up the coast. So Encinitas, Carlsbad, Vista, San Marcos, Oceanside, that's really our main bread and butter, and that's where we're servicing people. And also both at home as well as in a facility.
Okay, so it's a mix of in facility but also in home care, which I think is what we're going to get to next, which is what really resonated with me when we spoke prior to filming this is the services that you normally provide, but how that has changed during quarantine and how certain things have become more focused, I believe, for you. We were talking about in-home care and people considering either moving a loved one out of a facility or somebody that is already homebound but doesn't have the support.
Right. And especially at this time during, these trying times with the coronavirus, we've been able to, go into the home and provide not only the services, but also that social, we're dealing with people that are socially isolated right now. And so that's a huge concern right now for our community. And, our loved ones, the sons and the daughters are fearful of visiting mom and bringing the virus along. And so, and especially as well at a facility. So you can't even go in and visit a loved one right now in a facility. However, because we are considered essential services, we are able to do these things. So we're able to go into the home, provide that extra care. And we're also trained on it, right? So all of our staff, all of our caregivers have received infection control training. And so we're walking in there with the gloves, the masks, all the PPE that we've heard about, but we're protecting ourselves as well as the loved ones that we're caring for. So it's really nice to be able to do that. And I have to say that home care is really the safest place to be right now. And I will say that because, you have less people coming in and out of the home. Let's say you have one caregiver coming into the home, they're protected, they're maintaining the social distance where appropriate, but we're providing all that extra stimulation. And that's what our loved ones are really craving and needing right now. So we're able to do that. We also offer like a contactless shopping service. So we can go out grocery shopping for a loved one. We can get all the medications at the pharmacy for them. We can also run to Target and grab them whatever they need. So we're able to do a contactless type of service as well too, which has been really a lot of what we're doing nowadays too, in addition to the home care, of course. But
I think when you say the word essential services, I don't think there's another industry that could be classified more essential other than, our nurses and doctors and first responders, but, on the front line of keeping those who are most at risk, healthy mentally and physically. And that's great to hear.
Yeah.
How do you differ from other companies that are in this similar space?
Well, let me talk first about, home care. Home care can cover a lot of things, and home care has sort of three spokes to it. Number one, you have home health care, and that would be an episode after you, let's say, need some rehabilitation after you have, let's say, a broken hip, and you want to come home. So you've got PT, OT, and all of that coming in, and that's provided by Medicare. So that is one spoke of home care. The next would be hospice. You're able to have in-home hospice care, which is nice, but then we're this nice third spoke, and in-home care is that third part. Does that answer your question?
It does. I think, plus the expertise that you bring along and the heart that you offer, I believe, is also what I think we were, kind of talking about before. And
let me go back and just state, Ben, sorry to interrupt, but I was going to say, how do we differ? So those are, three of the different ways. I didn't finish my thought there. But basically, how we differ is that, number one, I, as the owner, I go out and I meet every single one of our clients. I'm in charge of their care plan. I get them set up right off the bat, and I'm maintaining the contact with our families. And that's so important. Number two, many of the home care companies and agencies out there, they have a minimum of 4 hours. Many of them have contracts as well. And so we can do a minimum of even 1 hour. If somebody just needs 1 hour once a week, we're happy to do as little as it takes to get the job done. So, and we can provide anything up to 24 hours. We can do 24-hour care for somebody that wants to, that needs that sort of care. So those are some of the ways that we are different, and I'm really proud of that.
That's great. I think that resonates too with people, who are trying to kind of figure out what this next phase of reopening is going to look like, and finances, and we're all kind of looking at that. And so that leads me to the next question, which is, so obviously financials are a big consideration for a senior and for a family that's caring for somebody that is looking at that next stage in life. So how do people pay for your services? Is it covered by Medicare or private insurance or both? What does that look like?
So that's a great question. Home care can be covered in multiple different ways. So first of all, Medicare generally does not cover it at this time. However, Medicare Advantage plans going into 2020, going into later this year and into 2021, they're seeing the value of the in-home care. So we're really excited about that. And I myself am aligning with some of the major insurance companies to be able to accept that. So we are moving towards having in-home care as a service that will be Medicare covered in certain instances. So there is one way eventually, but it's an exciting element that we're looking forward to. We also have long-term care insurance, and I actually consider myself a bit of a long-term care insurance expert. That will pay for home care as long as your policy is written appropriately for it. But I proudly accept that as payment. And last, of course, would be, also a vet. If a vet has aid and attendance type of a pension that they've earned, and we proudly serve our vets here. So that's another way that home care can be paid for. And last but not least, if none of those applies to somebody that's looking for in-home care, out of pocket. So, we take check, credit card, and that sort of thing is payment too.
Well, I would venture to say that those costs, depending on what care is needed or what type of arrangements, could be considerably less than assisted living or even, you're not skilled nursing, that's a different level, but assisted living or companionship, in that type of facility, to be in your own home that you love and that you've spent time in and developed a relationship with is mentally strong, a good thing for a senior. there's a lot of, non-monetary value that's also presented that I think people
It's huge.
should understand and
It's huge.
go,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
with. Yeah.
Let me just jump in a little bit and tell
Mhm.
you a few thoughts that I have there too. Early on when I started my business or before, my mom told me, she said, Tanya, please don't ever put me in a facility. I want to be at home. I want to be at home for the rest of my life. And that really resonated with me. And that was one of the main reasons I started this business. And this is what I'm seeing out there. And especially nowadays, when you look at some of I think assisted living is great for some people. But most people, I think, really do want the option to be at home. Now, when you're looking at financials over that, there is a concern because home care can get expensive once you start getting over, say, 40 hours a week. Then that's really where you want to weigh your options and take a look at, okay, maybe I do need more care, so I'm going to need to look at this if I can't afford it. So, if you can stay in your home as long as possible and get somebody in there 3-4 hours a day to cook you meals, help you with bathing and dressing and some light housekeeping and all of those items, that can actually be much less than assisted living. So to answer that question in a long format, that's what I would say. Yeah.
It's valuable information, and I think that we've done a good job presenting the top level, which is important, but everybody's circumstances and details are unique. So the next question would be, as we kind of wrap this up, is what's the best way for viewers to contact you? What are your customary hours that you meet with families? And we'll put all this up on the screen as well, but why don't you quickly cover how we're able to contact you?
Sure, absolutely. So multiple different ways, but the main way would be my telephone number, which is 760-260-8700. Or you can visit our website at homewatchcaregivers.com/North-San Diego. So it's a bit of a mouthful, but that would be, probably the best way to get a hold of us as well. As far as our hours, we're in the office here in Carlsbad from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, but we are always on call after hours. So anybody can call us any time of the day or text that line, and we're able to service you or answer any questions. And I myself, even on the weekend, I go out and meet with potential clients or clients. I have a meeting this weekend, for a new family that needs some care and they need to get it started right away. And as far as that goes, we can get care started within hours of the first phone call. So, we actually have a new client that came in very quickly here over the past few days, and we were able to get it staffed within an hour. So I'm excited that our team is so reactive. We have about 85 caregivers that are ready to respond. So great.
And they're all members of San Diego County. They live, work, and
Yes.
their families in our same area. So,
Yeah.
we talk about locally owned business and how investing in locally owned businesses gives directly back to our community. These are the people that go out and their kids go to our schools, just like yours and mine. And, I know ours have a relationship together as well.
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
with that said, the benefit of spending locally and staying locally is it really is like 8 degrees of separation. Somebody else that works for a company. So, and that's partly why I've really taken a care of, like, let's focus on Carlsbad, let's focus on North County San Diego, and really get these businesses that are, doing something, to stay open, or just something that, like, we need to be aware of that otherwise people might not be, concerned about. So I'm really appreciative of you, wanting to come on and taking the time to go over this today with us. And I really hope that there's questions that people have that they can direct to you. We'll put all of your information back up on the screen when this goes live, and I'll put it out on the website as well. So again, I can't thank you enough for the information today and for joining me on this. Tanya, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for letting me discuss and talk about my business. It's my passion. I love keeping people at home and caring for people. So I am really excited that you offered to have this discussion with me today. So thank you so much, Ben. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.